Okay, this is a 1975 Ford C600 cab over truck. Cab is tilted up in front of the truck here. This is a Ford 330. They call it an XD. It's the FT motor. It's the 330 FT Ford truck motor. Gasoline. It has a mechanical fuel pump. The fuel pump has been replaced. It has an non-original radiator. This is the radiator out of a Hummer, H1 Humvee, which is the same size. The original radiator, the core is damaged. It will come with it if you want to recore it and put it in, hence the two-part coolant hose. Coolant goes in here under the cab. This is your overflow under the cab. Standard alternator, basic solenoid. Power steering, the power steering lines have been replaced. On this particular truck, the yellow fire truck cab is a replacement cab off of a fire truck. The original cab was a standard stock cab. It was painted green, a special order color. I think it was a rental truck for like Hertz Rental or something like that, or Ryder or whoever at the time. And the odometer, I will get you the odometer reading. It's low miles, under 100,000, maybe 80,000 miles. The original green cab was completely rusted out, and so I sourced this fire truck cab. It is very, very solid. It has some surface rust, but very, very minimal. Firemen just wash their truck all the time, so it was really, this would clean up really well. I was extraordinarily pleased with it. The lights and sirens, some of them work slowly. I have not tried to get them to work. Some of the switches work, some of them spin, some of them light up. So that would be for you if you want to do that, if you want to make this a recovery truck or wrecker truck. I don't know what you want to do with it. But the cab was a direct bolt-on. This chassis, the original chassis with the 330 engine, has an automatic Allison transmission. I was told that a Jasper rebuilt Allison transmission was put into it.
What you're looking at here is the data plate from the Allison transmission. It's an AT545 transmission, the same one that's found in buses. It has recently been serviced, full fluid changed, the pan completely cleaned, magnet cleaned, and all the fluid and filter replaced, and is operating as it should.
But the transmission's very clean. The previous owner also put dual exhaust on it. It was an all-electric truck, meaning no air controls, hydraulic brakes, single-circuit hydraulic brakes. The single-circuit hydraulic brakes remain. It is an automatic truck with the Allison transmission. I have replaced all of the flexible hydraulic lines. I have replaced all of the wheel cylinders. I have replaced many, many of the hard lines. I have rebuilt the hydrovac power braking system, but it is still the original single-circuit hydraulic brake system. I have all new shoes, or resoled shoes, relined shoes all the way around. The cab, however, was off of a manual transmission truck that had air brakes. So it is now equipped for automatic. That all works. The one glitch that isn't working is the windshield wipers are air-operated windshield wipers. I do not have onboard air on this truck, so the windshield wipers currently do not work. You would need to put onboard air on this truck and have an air tank. All of the original air tanks for this yellow cab will go with the truck if you want to install one, put onboard air. That was my plan, to have onboard air, make this sort of a recovery truck, and have an air compressor on it to have onboard air. I will give you all the air tanks. They fit neatly in the wheel wells and things like that. And you can feel free to put all that stuff back. All of the original lights, all of the original spec lights work. I have replaced the tail lights and the reverse light and the license plate light. The front cab lights work as they should. It's very minimal lighting on this. In 1975, they had very limited lighting requirements. The cab has almost no marker lights on it. In fact, I don't think it has any. So I would probably install those if you're really going to drive this thing at night, just for visibility purposes. The tires are the ones that came on it when I got it. They are old as I don't know what. I have no idea the age of the tires. There's no date stamps on them, so figure they're 20 or more years old. They have dry cracks on them. There's a ton of tread. They are split rim. They are not the Widowmaker split rim, but they are split rim where the split comes off the tires to replace them. I would have all of them replaced if you wanted to drive this a lot. I would take them off. I would have the rims taken off. I would sandblast the wheels, and then I would have new tires put on. I think they're very serviceable. It's just service rust on them, and that's that. So this thing's been sitting now for a few months inside this building. I'm going to do a cold start right now. It has a mechanical fuel pump, so it will probably have to crank a little bit. The float bowls are probably empty. There's very little gas in it. I'm going to go drive it to the gas station and get some gas in a little bit. But we'll see how it does on a cold start, and you guys can see what a cold start looks like. There is a manual choke in the cab to pull. There's also a control for a manual throttle that is left over from when it was a fire truck. The fire truck would have had a manual throttle to throttle it up to run all the PTO and everything for the fire equipment. The manual throttle control, the hand manual throttle control is not connected. It only has the foot pedal, which is this long lever here, which operates. I'm going to go ahead and pump it 1, 2, 3, mainly because I have the cab tipped forward and I can't really get up in there. I could, but it's sort of pointless. So I pumped it 3 times. I'm going to pull the choke on. You may see something actuating. All right, the choke is a pull and twist. I pulled full choke. I am now just going to use the key. We'll see how it goes. Nothing. I think that it is, there's a reverse cutout switch on the automatic transmission, and that switch is a little glitchy. Let me try or neutral cutout switch. Choke in real time from a cold start. Maybe it wanted to stay on choke a little longer. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Standard points and distributor, not converted to electronic ignition. Power steering here. Standard coil. Regular air cleaner. about as basic as it gets. It has a 2-barrel Holley carburetor that is original. I have rebuilt the carburetor. It has new spark plugs, new wires, new cap, new rotor. I believe, if I remember correctly, I don't know about the coil. So it's mostly brakes, basic tune-up items, fuel pump, and it runs great. Smooth as could be, tons of power. So I'll let it idle a little bit. While it's idling, I will get in close on some stuff so you can see it. So it's a new battery, new solenoid. This is just a basic, it's like a $3 solenoid. V8, easy to see plugs, easy to access everything. Dual belts, no air conditioning. Old school rotor. That's the power steering reservoir coil. Air cleaner. This is the heavy duty lead for the lift gate. It's not connected right now. I can connect it. It connects right to the pot on the solenoid. It does work. These are the latches for the cab forward, the latches for the cab forward to latch the cab. I'll back up and show you. Cab latch up there. I'll look inside the cab. You can see what kind of, I mean, it still has factory yellow paint. I shouldn't say factory, I think it was repainted yellow. I don't know what it is at the factory. They turn it yellow to make a fire truck. But it is all really, really intact. Just minor surface rust. It is super, super clean cab. It is just needs somebody to clean it. I'm going to clean the outside for you. Let me walk around the other side. I'll back up. Here's the cab tilted forward. I have the chrome bumper on it. I do have a painted steel bumper that came on the green cab. The chrome one was the fire truck. The headlights work. The red are the fire truck lights. This is the siren. And the marker lights work. These cherry tops, the air horn is an air horn, so it does not work until you get air on this thing. The cherry tops, they spin and they light up. They probably need to be rebuilt. They turn slowly. These spotlights, I don't think they currently work. They are controlled inside like a police spotlight where you can grab the handle and twist and aim. There's one on the passenger side and one on the driver's side. Those could be cleaned up and rebuilt. Those would be really handy if this was a recovery truck. This side. These are the factory marker lights. That's really the only marker lights you get on this thing. It's pretty dramatic how little lights they had back then. It has new side view mirrors that I put on. I'll come around this side of the engine. About as basic as it gets. All of these power steering hoses and lines are new, all four. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're all new. I had them all rebuilt. They were failed. You can see the power steering ram here. This all works. The power steering works very well. You can sit at a standstill and turn the wheel lock to lock with one finger. That works very well. On the side of the engine, super easy to service this thing. This is the Hummer radiator I talked about. Manufactured some mounts for it. Again, the factory radiator will come with it. It would need to be re-cored if you wanted to use it. Look at this side of the cab. Underneath, so you can see the condition. This side of the wheel arch here, again, yellow paint. I mean, it is in just remarkable condition.
just really remarkable condition. You know, the firemen just wash and clean this thing all the time. That is like the worst of the rust, and it's just some minor surface rust if you wanted to make it perfect. So this has been idling now. I don't know how long you can look at the time, but this is it. It's ready to roll. I'm gonna stop here and I'll stitch together some more videos of driving and such. All right, here's the back of the truck. Done a repair to the bottom panel. That's a replacement panel. Some new rollers, that's a new latch. And the spring, the torsion spring and everything works. Everything's been reattached. It's got some new rollers. The cables are on. I will show you the function of the door. And one there's the door up. There's the inside of the box, the original wood floor. It is just broom clean. There are no leaks in the cab. The corner up there has had damage in the past and has been patched and repaired. It's not leaking. You can see the floor is intact. I'll get up in the floor. The lift gate, I will show the function later. The new tail lights with reverse lights, new license plate light and mount there, new tail light. This is an old lift gate and it is deteriorated. It needs some work. It looks like a 5th grader welded it on when they put it on. So take it for what it is. It does work. I will show you that. Let me get up inside the truck and show you the floor. Here is the floor. It's been used for storage by me and storage by the previous owner. Here is repair. There's a repair in this corner. That's a new aluminum box corner. This does not leak. You can see the floor. This thing sat outside for years and years, basically its whole life. The floor is not rotten. Original wood floor. I guess you could sand it if you wanted to. All the strapping on the walls. They have the enclosure tops so stuff doesn't fall behind that bottom mop board. That is everywhere except for this back corner. I don't know whether they ripped it out so they could tuck clipboard or something like that. I have not tried to dig in there to see what's there, but all of the other close-off panels are in place. This is the side door. There is some corrosion and rust through. It's a skinned door at the bottom of this door, but it works. It latches, it locks. It had an interior light, does not work. I guess it had a second interior light, does not work. So you would need to rewire those. That's the cab, or the box. Side access door, step, clearly was caught on a loading dock or something. It's bent. It still functions, it's just bent. If you want to straighten it, you can. It has a continuous latch that folds in there, swings open fine. There is the corrosion on the inside skin of the door and the threshold of the door. The hold open tie that would have been here and latch into this is gone. You would need to buy one and reattach it. There you go. Okay, cab of the truck. The fire department had shore power. I think they plugged it in when it was at the fire station. That's what that is for. You have to blank that off or something. Foot operated washer fluid. I'll show you the cab. It has the bucket seats. That's the way the fire department had it. I have a bench seat that goes all the way across the bottom and the top that came out of the green cab, the original cab. And that will be included. So if you want to convert this to a bench, you can. Let me hop up in here, show you what you got. So you have Orscheln brake, ignition key. These are clearance lights, CLLPS or something. That's clearance lights, that's the cab lights. That's the wiper again, that's air actuated. So that doesn't work. The wipers do not work. This is, heck if I know, lighter. Oh, that's lights. Sorry, that is your headlights. They work battery on or off. This is cigarette lighter. Go figure of an A. Okay, instrument cluster. This is the instrument cluster that came out of the fire truck when I got it. Fuel gauge, temp gauge, speedometer, alternator, oil. Exactly the same as what was in my truck originally. The fire truck lists 1,736 miles. Take that for what it's worth. It could have rolled over and it could be 101,700. I assume that it is. The gauge in the truck is the original one that was in the original cab. I swapped it over. Fuel, temp, speedometer, voltage, and oil. It has 11,956. So again, take it for what it's worth. Presumably it rolled over. There was a hub meter on this truck when I got it, but it was rust locked up, so and non-readable. Totally unknown what the mileage is. This is the original vacuum gauge that was in the green cab, the automatic transmission cab. I switched it over so that you have vacuum. There is a blank plate here you can take out and add a gauge. You'll get all the other gauges. There was an air pressure gauge in the fire truck cab for the air brake. So you could put that in and you could put onboard air and you could measure your air pressure from right here. That'd be kind of cool. I probably would have done that if I was keeping it. Anyway, that's the two sets of gauges with the mileage as displayed. Total mileage unknown. This is a vent for your heater. This is your manual choke. This is your manual throttle. That is not connected here for the fire truck. They would have manual throttled it up. Your heater and fresh air controls. These are lights and sirens for the fire truck, warning signal and such that they added. There is a foot pedal plunger over on this side for the passenger to stomp on the siren and hold that down. Again, automatic transmission. It is in neutral here. It is down for reverse, up for drive, third gear, second gear. First gear, it's a 3-speed automatic. Horn, turn signals, hazards, sort of fairly standard controls. If we pan up, the visors, it has the pull cord for an air horn. There is no air on this, so that air horn does not currently work. You would have to add air. Visors are here. Here is what the headliner looks like. This is the shelf behind the cab. This is the passenger seat. Give you a sense of its condition. Needs to be cleaned a little, but no rips, no tears. Intact. Door, just painted. That's it. That's the finish. This is an access panel behind the passenger seat to get to the overflow bottle on the coolant. If you wanted to do it, the cab tips forward so easy, that's sort of silly. Since this is a bucket or bucket seats, there used to be a controller here for the PTO or something for the fire truck. That's all gone because that was related to running the fire equipment. So again, I have the bench seat. My plan was going to be to put the bench seat back in. It does have seat belts for lap belts for driver and passenger. They do work. There is not a middle set. You would have to add them. All the glass is intact, unbroken. As I said, new mirrors, vent windows work. The windows crank down. These lights inside, these spotlights, as I said, they don't work now. They would require some cleaning up. You would have to take them apart, clean them all up. I think they would be workable. They're just 12 volt, I'm sure. You would have to do that.
That's about it inside the cab. I'll show you the footwells, just surface rust. Again, that is all surface rust. No holes, no rust through. You saw it from underneath. You see the wheel arches and things. There you go. I'll stitch all this together and have it out for you guys, and happy to answer any questions. Here is the door build tag. This is the build tag from the green truck. I transferred it over to the yellow truck because that's what the chassis is and that's what's important. So all these numbers are spelled out in the description. So I did transfer the build tag to this cab so that it matches the chassis for this truck. But there you can see it. And I did type everything out for you and decipher it for you. Okay, lift gate. I'm going to show you the damage. A lot of corrosion. That's rust through of the lift gate. So it needs to be reskinned. The mechanism is all there. It works. It is a gravity down hydraulic up lift gate with a safety catch on this side and a safety catch on this side. The truck is idling. I will raise it up and see how control is single lever control here. Gravity down, hydraulic up, hydraulic pump here. I've changed all the fluid. So we will raise it up. That is down. If I would go up, then we would go up. Let's go up. There we go, up. So, hydraulic up, all the way up. Gravity down. I need another hand because it's got the safety catch that won't go down. I can wedge a block of wood in on the other side and do it by myself. I'll do that. Let's look underneath it and show you the rust. So again, that's the rust channel. So this deck needs work. You could reskin it. You probably need to put new supports in it. I don't know, depending on what you're going to carry. And it has this tongue that folds over. You get it about halfway down, this tongue folds over and the thing curls in. That is manual. It is not an automatic curl. Again, 1975 truck. So it works. It will lift the load. I've lifted loads with it. Give me a minute, I'll lower it down. Okay, I've got the camera sitting still. I wedged the safety on the other side, on the far side over there with a block of wood. I'm going to manually operate this safety and lower it down. So the safety's here, lower it down, and it is gravity down. Once you get past the safeties, you can let go, and down it goes. Again, gravity down, power up. More weight on it, the faster it goes. Okay, I'm going to fold the tongue now for you. So this is a manual fold. This tongue is fine. The other deck would work. This is a manual fold like that. And then again, power up to stow it. Until it gets the safeties. You can then lower it down into the safeties if you want, and you're done. So there's liftgate in operation. So in the back of the truck, I have put parts. This is the bench seat that came out of the green cab. It will clean up. There are assortment of parts from swapping the cabs. There's the air tanks, if you want to put them back in. There is a steel bumper there for the front bumper that you could paint if you don't like the chrome bumper. That's some sheet metal trim from the front. The radiator, more air tanks. That's the original radiator. It will have to be re-cored if you want to put that in. There is a steering box right there that is an extra steering box that goes to this truck. So those parts are all coming with it. These are the parts I swapped out, so you'll see the parts that I put in there. This is all the brake cylinder,
the old stuff that I took out. So all that goes with the truck. All right, this is driving down the road. We've got oil pressure, charging, temps up. It's low and slow. Shifted into all the gears. It's in third gear now. I don't know what the max is, but it can't be fast. Vacuum gauge is reading correctly on vacuum.